first screen print editions Gavin Jantjes produced were made while he was a student at the Hamburg Art Academy in Germany from 1970 to 1974. He refined his screen printing technique with the help of master printers Florian Böhr and Peter Gutsche in their workshop. This enabled him to print all his editions himself. His screen prints disobeyed conventions of printmaking, using collaged material, sometimes attached with adhesive, a paperclip, or loosely placed onto the print's surface. In the early 1970s, there was no access to the World Wide Web. His imagery was gathered from magazines, libraries, and archives. He even photographed some images directly from news reports and documentaries on television. He had his first exhibition of prints in June 1976 at the Institute of Contemporary Art, the ICA, in London, the first African artist to exhibit at this prestigious UK venue founded by Sir Roland Penrose. This exhibition coincided with the Soweto uprising in South Africa. What emerged in the national press and TV media in the UK and around Europe contextualised the prints on display. Jantjes became a political refugee because of his activism in the anti-apartheid struggle. His support for the independence struggles in Africa and the civil rights struggle in the US made his early screen prints an archive of these unfolding histories. He received commissions from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and its Special Committee on Apartheid and Decolonisation. Even though his prints have an affinity with American and European pop art of the 1960s, Jantjes never identified with these movements because of their connections to consumerism. By the time Jantjes moved from Hamburg to the UK in 1982, his studio practice had moved from printmaking to painting. His first paintings were highly figurative and similar in content to his prints, focusing on political and cultural issues. He often works in series, developing ideas over canvases of similar size. In the mid-1980s, Jantjes completed a series of 7 large, untitled canvases about slavery with the genetic title Corabora. This Ghanaian word for a funeral drum also means to go away and come back. The images in the series are poetic and symbolic, and in the exhibition catalogue they are accompanied by extracts from Edward Brathwaite's epic poem The Arrivants. Each painting addresses the ineluctable facts of slavery. These narratives unfold against a backdrop of land, sea, or sky. Their non-specific locations suggest that slavery was more universal than the triangle of Europe, Africa, and the Americas. For his Zulu series, Jantjes retained the undefined and universal space of the night sky as a backdrop. Zulu translates as the space above your head. The series brings together ideas of cosmology, mythologies, and cultural politics in a variety of paintings and drawings, and for the first time, they include sculpture. At the end of the 1990s, Jantjes closed his studio. He moved to Norway and began to curate exhibitions for Hini Onstat Art Centre and the National Museum of Norway. He wrote numerous catalogues and published books and monographs on contemporary art and art history. Most importantly, a 4-volume history book on South African contemporary art. At the start of 2015, he returned to his studio and began to make non-figurative paintings. This stylistic shift maintained his method of working in series, but the removal of figures and cultural narratives marks a radical alteration to his way of working. The first outcome of his painterly research was the exogenic series Aqua in 2015, 12 large paintings about water. Since then, his painting practice remains a research of artistic freedoms that include the viewer's freedom of expression. These most recent paintings emphasize the visual over the verbal. The only narrative in these works is the history of their making. Layers of transparent colours, marks and lines create the open space in which the viewer's imagination wanders. The Sharjah Art Foundation and the Africa Institute in Sharjah will present a retrospective exhibition of his work and ideas in 2023.
Mm-hmm.